Looking for the best 2022? This is the guide for you. We've spent countless hours in the air with the top camera-equipped flying machines to create our regularly updated list below. So whether you're a fledgling filmmaker or an accomplished aerial photographer, you'll find your ideal drone here. Just getting started. Check out our separate guide on the best beginner drones. What's the best drone you can buy in 2022? Our top pick right now is the DJI Air 2S. Hitting the sweet spot of portability and performance, it pairs a useful folding design with a capable 1-inch sensor, intelligent flight modes and solid battery life. It's the ideal option for novices and enthusiasts alike. That said, there might be a drone below that's better for your skill level or cost constraints. The new Autel Evo Lite Plus is a fine alternative to the Air 2S, while for those on a more limited budget, the DJI Mini 2 is the ideal choice. Lightweight, compact and affordable, it lets you get airborne without breaking the bank and delivers flying fun in spades. Looking for the ultimate aerial imaging tool? The DJI Mavic 3 is tough to beat. It's inescapably expensive, but its dual cam configuration, which includes a superb 4/3 sensor with adjustable aperture, sets a new standard for in-flight filming. Now that a firmware update has unlocked its full suite of features and skills, it's the easily best drone ever made by DJI. Number 1. PowerEgg X X. Ignore the culinary. PowerEgg X is a flyer, not a fryer. And in a market dominated by drones that don't like water, PowerVision's aerial orb is distinctive in its ability to fly in the rain and land on lakes. With the Wizard bundle, image quality is affected by the plastic waterproof housing, but being able to operate in, and float upon, the wet stuff opens up a range of creative possibilities. So, too, does the versatile modular design. The PowerEgg X can also be deployed as a handheld gimbal camera and an autonomous AI camera, which can be mounted to a tripod and controlled with hand gestures. The flip side of the adaptable setup is that it's slower to deploy. It might be lightweight, but removing the protective casing from the body, adding the propeller arms and setting up the controller takes a few minutes. Image quality isn't class-leading, either. The PowerEgg X does produce decent, detailed 4K footage in bright conditions, but the fixed aperture, fixed focus 12MP 1/2 8-inch CMOS sensor can't compete with DJI's Mavic drones. It's also not currently possible to record in RAW video formats. Still, for short, sharp video sequences in bad weather, the PowerEgg X is one of the best options around. Number 2. D4 Pro V2.0. DJI's Phantom series that really took its drones to new heights. And while the Phantom 4 Pro V20 isn't the newest model in this list, it remains a fine option for professionals who need something sturdy and reliable for windy conditions. Launched in 2018, the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 was a big upgrade on the Phantom 4, bringing vastly improved obstacle avoidance and intelligent flight modes like active track. Its 20MP 1-inch sensor can also shoot impressive RAW stills and 4K 60p video at 100 megabits per second in the D-Log color profile. Of course, the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0's size, it weighs 1,375 grams, means it isn't as convenient as the foldable Mavic 2 Pro, which also has a 20MP 1-inch sensor. But it does also bring a mechanical shutter, for avoiding rolling shutter, and boasts a higher 4K frame rate than its smaller sibling. With some excellent handling and 30 minutes of flight time, it's certainly worth considering if you need to shoot high-quality aerial stills and video in challenging weather that might be too much for the Mavic 2 Pro. Number 3. Ryze Tello. Simple, light. The Ryze Tello is designed to be a fun drone for first-time flyers, and despite its budget price tag, the Tello offers plenty. The battery serves up a reasonable 13 minutes of flight time, while downward-facing light sensors allow the Tello to hover in place and perform a handful of automated tricks. Image quality from the nose-mounted 5MP camera is less impressive, with a limited dynamic range and noticeable compression artifacts when streaming 720p HD video. Because video is beamed directly to your smartphone, the frame rate is affected by any drop in connection strength. Number 4. DJI Mavic Mini. It's now been DJI Mini 2, but this ultra-compact drone will remain on sale, and that's good news for anyone who needs a slightly more affordable palm-sized drone with impressive video quality. Compared to its newer sibling, you miss out on raw photo capture, OcuSync 2.0 connectivity, for improved range, and some new motors, but the Mavic Mini is otherwise very competitive and still streaks ahead of any other drone in its weight category. Just like on the Mini 2, it's a shame there's no active track object tracking or follow me function, but if you're simply looking to take your first step in aerial photography or videography, the Mavic Mini is a great option. We'll be keeping a close eye on its price tag, too, to see if it moves further into super bargain territory. Number 5. D2 Zoom. Zoom. Like the Mavic 2 Zoom landed back in August 2018, which means it's largely been succeeded by the newer Air 2S and Mavic 3. See above. But despite the latter's inclusion of a 162mm telephoto lens, the Zoom still offers a unique 24 to 48mm optical zoom lens. If you're looking to capture close-up shots of subjects like people, while still maintaining the safe and legal distance of 50 meters, then it's still worth considering due to the quality of that optical zoom. Because of its smaller 12MP sensor, image quality doesn't quite match the Mavic 2 Pro and the f2.8 aperture is fixed, but photos and videos are still more than good enough for professional use. Range is also good and control is intuitive via the partner app. The real boon, though, is that zoom lens, which unlocks a world of creative shooting potential, even if the Mavic 3 beats it for outright reach. Number 6. DJI Air 2. Air 2. Previously, the Mavic Air 2 has been nudged out of the limelight by the arrival of the DJI Air 2S. See number 1. But you shouldn't necessarily discount it as an option. It's more affordable than the Air 2S and may just suit you better, if you don't need the new model's larger 1-inch sensor. It still shoots 4K, 60p video, boasts an impressive 34-minute flight time and has a comparable maximum 10 km range. You also get the same subject tracking goodness as the Air 2S, a slightly longer 34-minute flight time, and that handy, compact folding design. While we'd stretch to the Air 2S if you can, due to its larger sensor and useful digital zoom, the Mavic Air 2 remains a great value option that is well worth considering. Number 7. Autel Plus. As the flagship Autel's latest lineup of DJI rivals, the Evo Lite Plus goes directly up against the Air 2S, capable of shooting 5.4 kelvins footage at 30 fps using a 1-inch sensor. It shares a remarkably similar spec sheet, but it also both leapfrogs the Air 2S and the Mavic Pro 2 with its 40-minute flight time and adjustable aperture, ranging from f2.8 to f11. The Lite Plus model does lack the 4th-axis stabilization of its Evo Lite sibling, but the larger pixels on its sensor give it better light gathering potential in dim conditions. Pro drone videographers might think twice about the lack of 10-bit video and D-Log profile, while the omission of side sensors for obstacle avoidance is a shame. But in all other respects, the Lite Plus an impressively versatile piece of flying camera equipment. Number 8. DJI Mavic 3. Looking for the most drone around? The DJI Mavic 3 is it. This aerial powerhouse is fronted by a dual camera that mixes a large, 20MP 4/3 sensor with a handy 162mm telephoto lens. The Mavic 3 fits all this in a backpack-friendly bundle that's somehow lighter than the Mavic 2 Pro model it's based on. Other improvements over its predecessor include a 46-minute battery life, in reality, about half an hour of actual flight time, and the ability to shoot 5K, 50p video or 4K, 120p slow-mo footage. Upgrade to the DJI Mavic 3 Cine bundle, and you'll get 1 TB of internal storage, a very fancy DJI RC Pro controller and the ability to shoot video in Apple ProRes 422HQ format. Number 9. DJI Mini 2. One of our few complaints with DJI Mavic Mini was that it couldn't shoot 4K video. This excellent successor fixes that, while giving us a few extra treats in the process. The Mini 2 has the same ultra-compact design as before, making it the joint smallest drone in DJI's lineup, but comes with a new controller that boosts its range, thanks to OcuSync 2.0 connectivity, and delivers a more polished flying experience. Like the Mavic Mini, it's packed with a generous selection of beginner-friendly quickshot modes, which see the drone perform pre-programmed moves. But the Mini 2 offers more for pro snappers, too, thanks to the inclusion of RAW photo shooting, while 4K video means the arrival of a boosted 100 Mbps bitrate. Sure. Number 10. DJI US. The superb Air. The best features of our two previous favorite DJI drones, the Mavic Air 2 and Mavic 2 Pro. You get the compact, folding design of the former, plus the 20MP 1-inch sensor found in the latter. The combination is a brilliant one, making the Air 2S our top choice for hobbyists and also pros who need a small drone that they can take anywhere. While the Mavic Air 2 remains a good choice for those on a tighter budget, the Air 2S does deliver some handy advantages over its predecessor. The ability to shoot 5.4 kelvins video at 30 fps gives you some extra creative flexibility, and supports a useful digital zoom option, even if we'd only recommend using that at 2x zoom. Throw in the ability to shoot 1080p at 120 fps and some impressive high ISO performance, and you have a superb all-round flying machine that soars above its mid-range rivals.